All right, Mario the movie. I just saw it yesterday. It was great. I highly recommend it. I don't really watch the news. I don't get into the how much money something's making or whatever. But I think it's going to do some Marvel numbers. I saw it with the kids. I was really happy. I got to leave work. I went into work. I called. Said, "Hey, is it busy?" They said, "Yeah, we'll need you." I got to work. There was like nothing. Anyway, I got to leave. Thank you, Joe. And I saw the movie, and I was totally like, not super duper inspired, but I was happy that it was a good movie. I was very, very happy that it was a good movie. It taught some lessons. Mario found his courage. Luigi found his courage. They understood if they were together, things would not be bad. And I think that's how we should feel in life. And it's interesting because united we stand, divided we fall. And I was thinking there's so many very simple concepts, so many very simple truths and sayings that are very like honest. And it's like, it's so simple that you almost want to overlook it. Like the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do to you. And you see that the world, it's weird because it's not shaped up that way. And then you see that, you know, history is always written by the victor. And you see like how things are like off. And you see that we all want our children in the future generations to have some sort of morality. But then at the end of the day, we don't because it's like opposite of what we've done and kind of opposite of how we've lived our lives. Because everybody, I feel like at some point in time, a lot of people are very idealistic. I'm going to scoot back about life and about what's happening and how things can be or how things should be. But when the truth comes out, you get older, you get a job, life becomes a bit more competitive. A lot of those morals and ethics and values go out of the window because, well, your boss is being really shitty to everybody else, but maybe they're being really nice to you and you're getting your raise, you're getting bonuses, you're getting a fist bump here and there, and things are going well in your favor. And it's easy to turn a blind eye because you're being taken care of, even when there's injustice going on. And to see that happening in the real world and to see that life isn't as simple as watching Mario or an old school episode of Little House on the Prairie, it's just, it's very disorienting. Being 41 years old, living and seeing it, and every day me having that question, and it's like, you know, I can make it, I cannot make it, I'm okay, but always examining like what's truly going on, and to see how at the end we're just fed nonsense, but then after a while we're the people that buy into it, and then we're the people that teach it and preach it, and so this consistently goes on. It's not like something happens and then it dies and then we get to recreate things. It's no. It's like the legal system, the judicial system, the system of just chaos in the world. Every single day, we pretty much carry that with us for our own safety and our own security. Because it's like, well, if things are working out for me, let me just keep it moving. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's sad because then the kids, they think that that's okay, and their kids think that that's okay, and then we don't talk about our horrible, horrible past. And next thing you know, we're reliving it all over again in a totally different way. And it's the haves and the have-nots. You know, I have, so too bad you have not. I'll do a little something here and there if people make it. And it's just kind of like, it's kind of sad because it's like you see all that hope and you see all the bright little eyes and you see these great things that children want to do. But then as we get older, life becomes competitive. And it's like, it's not us working together to say, okay, as long as we're together, things are going to be okay. It's us more so like working apart. Well, you didn't do your fair end, or I didn't do my fair end. Let's go this way and let's go that way. Let's find a couple of other like-minded people. Or after everybody, I'm going to go and get it all by myself and attribute everything to myself and me and build monuments in my own honor because I'm that great. It's not that way. We have always had someone champion us something, be good to us, to get us the opportunity that we needed to get, no matter what circumstances it was. It's like, hey, I got out of jail early. Well, somebody thought about you well. Or I had 10 jobs. Somebody let you work 10 jobs to make a schedule so you could go to the other 9 jobs. So it's like, there's always something else. And it's, I don't know, today I'm kind of rambling, but I was looking at that movie. I think it's a great movie. If anyone sees this, I highly, highly recommend the movie. It was just really great. It was about teamwork, obviously, kind of old school. There's definitely a bad guy. I mean, it's funny because watching movies and in life, as you get older, things aren't as simple as an antagonist and a protagonist. You've got a good guy, you've got a bad guy. And the good guy's inherently good. He wants to do good things. He's an idealist, and he stands up for what he believes in, and he does those things. And the bad guy's inherently bad. It's not like he's like because a lot of times you start thinking about it as you get older. The bad guy is bad to other people that oppose him or her, but sometimes the people with that person, they're the hero, and it's like it kind of goes back and forth both ways. It's like playing cowboys and Indians as a kid, and you always want to be the cowboy until you understand the real truth, and it's like, ooh, wow, those cowboys, what terrible people. Not terrible, they're just trying to protect what they were getting, but then they were taking it from someone else. And the people that had something, they're just trying to keep what they've got. And it's not a lot. It's like, hey, we're nomadic. We're just not glamorizing one side or the other, because there's always two sides or three sides. He said, she said, and there's the damn truth. But I feel like even knowing parts of the truth, truth is always stranger than fiction, because as disorienting as it is, most people are mostly okay with taking from others to get what they need, as long as you have some external force validate you doing that. It's like, okay, the law says it's okay, or hey, maybe there's not a law ready for that yet. There's not a law against that. It's like morally it's wrong, ethically it's wrong, but so it's funny just saying that in that movie the bad guy really was the bad guy, and then the good guys were the good guys. But obviously in life it's not that way, and there's a lot of elasticity, and there are a lot of laws and things created to circumvent whatever it is. And it's funny because when sometimes things are written and things are created, they're made to have that level of elasticity, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's beneficial, and sometimes when you're on the other end of it, it's hell. I guess what I'm saying here is, united we stand, divided we fall, but it's funny, I don't think there's a such thing as unity anymore. I think there might be a little bit of a brotherhood here and there and there, but I feel like it's always a very club mentality. And guess what? When you're in the club, you're great. But when you ain't in the club, you ain't in the club, and somebody's got to let you in the club. And if they're not letting you in the club, you're kind of out there on your own. And I think that's a sad point where it's like you're kind of alone, or other people are alone, and we have these different groups, and it's supposed to be, one nation under God, but it's like it's a bunch of different places kind of called the same thing. It's like a pie with a bunch of different cracks and slices and different stuff in it, and that's a great thing, but there's no unity in that pie. It's just not like a whole pie or soup where, days later it's like, ooh, all the flavors kind of take on themselves, and it's like they kind of leave themselves and become like ultimately better. It's like, ooh, this soup is good the first day, but like 5 days in, it's like the beef and the corn. I didn't like corn. I like beef, but the beef and the corn and the carrots. I don't like carrots, but all of a sudden together, like, ooh, this is a lot of good flavor. And they're all together, and they've evolved into something better because they did it together, instead of still being like, this still tastes like a carrot. This still inherently tastes like a piece of corn. And there's nothing wrong with that individualism, but it's nice when everything can kind of get together to a certain point. And all of a sudden it becomes inherently like way, way, way better. And there's an evolution in taste there. And I think we can do the same thing in life. But it's weird because we choose not to. And I think this little channel that I have, I hopefully get a few more viewers, just says, what, let's get together. Let's have some ideas together. And together we're super powerful. Apart we're not. We're just a bunch of individuals. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it sometimes takes that one individual to say, hey, let's get together, let's do something. Let's row the boat in this direction. Hey, guess what? If we're going to hell, we're all going to hell together. If we're rowing it down into a waterfall that's like 1,000 feet, well, that's what happens. Sometimes you know it, sometimes you don't. If you're rowing in paradise, guess what? You're rowing in paradise together. So it's a united front thing. So I do highly recommend that movie, and it's quite a bit more thought coming from that movie. But it's about teamwork, and it's about the power of us. And as I said before, find somebody you don't know, do something nice. I'm about to get out myself and go do something great for someone else, because it's not about us. It's not about me as an individual, it's about us, but as people. And if you can do something nice for somebody, do something nice, and maybe they'll do something nice for somebody else. And sometimes doing something nice it might not seem nice, but it is nice, because a little compassion goes a long way. Sometimes taking a little time to talk to somebody, or sometimes to listen. It's not like just stopping off the side of the highway and giving somebody $20. That's sweet too, but I feel like that's a totally different issue for a totally another time. We're putting a Band-Aid on obviously something a cannonball pretty much ran through, and this person's profusely bleeding, and putting a Band-Aid on it doesn't really solve the problem. That's a conversation for another time. Anywho, anyone who sees this, please like, subscribe, tell some friends. Also, if you can, make some other videos. Shout out to you, Jonathan. Thanks. I think you tagged me, man. Yeah, we got to get together. I know my videos are pretty simple. It's just like me sitting here, but it's a nice day, and I think you sometimes have things on your mind. And this is good for my talk therapy as well. What day is it? Oh, it's Wednesday. It's Wednesday. Do something for somebody. Take care.